Welcome to part 2 of this episode. I'm having a conversation with Kendi on motherhood. Basically, motherhood through her eyes, her experience as a mom. She's a mom of 2. She's been a mom for 5 years, and she's just letting us know how that experience has been for her, what she has been intentional about, and what she wants from her motherhood experience. So if you haven't watched part 1 of the conversation, kindly do so. And we were talking about communication. That's the last part. And I just wanted you to continue, Kendi, about communication. We were saying for most of us, we were raised, our parents were very strict and harsh, and like some things you couldn't even discuss with your parents, like having boyfriends. I could say for me, when you're like a teenager, or that's not even a conversation I could have had with my dad or mom.
Yeah.
You know, but right now, my mom is my best friend. Like both my mom and my dad, I think I can actually tell them everything, except those things which are maybe quite personal to being a woman that I can't share with my dad. I can actually share almost everything quite comfortably with both of them. So for you, what do you think, as someone who was raised like that, what sort of communication do you want to have with your child? Or you're the parent who says, your parent, not your friend. There is a clear distinction. How do you go about that?
So communication is very important for every relationship. And I think even for a mother to child kind of communication, you know, sometimes we talk about communication like in a general and broad term. But the communication that I'm talking about as mother to child is, yes, they can tell you, you know, the generals, how everything is going on in their life. But also there's some context, you know, you have to provide, especially like with discipline, when you're disciplining your child, when you want to instill certain values to them, values that you believe in, then there is a context that you must provide of where this is coming from. Why are you doing this? Why are you saying that this is the way we should be doing things in this house? So there's a context and a framework. So definitely converse with your children. For me, I make it a priority to explain myself to my child. Why am I disciplining you like this? Why do I require this particular form of behavior from you? Why am I curtailing you from doing this, or why am I encouraging you to do this? So also as a parent, I think the disparity with how we were raised is that it wasn't explained to us why things are being done the way they're being done, you know? And then also to allow for feedback. So probably I imagine when my child is like 13, I'll tell them, you know, I don't want you going out late, or your curfew is this particular time. And then I'll have to explain why, because outside, after dark hours, you know, it's unsafe. I want you to be where I can see you. I want you to be safe, etc. And then allow for feedback. Do you think that is the best way I can keep you safe? Or do you have another idea of how I can keep you safe for longer? I don't know, probably send you out with a chaperone. So also allowing for feedback from them. Like, this is how I intend to parent you because this is my parenting style because it's based on this. But also for you, how do you feel about being parented like that, and taking their feedback into consideration and allowing for a discussion at that point. So I think that two-way discussion wasn't happening when we were growing up. You were told this is it. You don't ask question. You don't provide feedback. But I think for me, I'm intent on giving reasons why I think things should be the way they are, or the way I'm prescribing for them to be, and also requesting for feedback from them. Like, is this the best way I can parent you? This is the objective I'm trying to achieve, and this is how I'm going about it. You, in your opinion, as a person being parented, do you agree? Do you agree that this is the best way for me to achieve this objective? And are we even agreeing on this particular objective? So just allowing for a discussion. And then also, I think as a parent, when you have your kids, you've raised them. You know exactly who they are, or there are things that resonate with your own personality as well. And so there's some behaviors you can see and they trigger you and you want to respond in a particular way because whether you see yourself in them or there's a thing that they're doing or showing you family traits and stuff like that.
I like that you're a very diplomatic parent. That you can ask your children whether this is the way they would like to be parented.
Yeah.
That's quite progressive. I don't know if I'm even there yet. But like, while I agree with what you're saying,
yeah,
I think like diplomacy is a big way to solve a lot of things. Like just conversation, basically just explaining to people, because children understand, even though they are young, they understand. They understand authority, they understand kindness, they understand boundaries, they do. It's just for you as a parent to find a way that works. But even as you say that, don't you think that that's difficult with like a young child? Because I think when people are maybe teenagers and like almost 18 and stuff like that, it's easier to have a conversation. Then I think even the more conventional, for lack of a better term, parents would agree that yes, you can converse with these people. I think the problem is with the very tiny small children. Do you think it works, like speaking to them?
Of course, giving the reasons why certain things are being done. Or, of course, not necessarily they can't give you feedback on, like you're not supposed to steal, and maybe they're saying, but mommy, it was just, that money was just lying there. What do you mean I'm not supposed to? So, of course, when they're really young, they are not able to also reason with you, or rather meet you at the level at which you're reasoning at. So for me, at that point, when they're really young, it's to explain why. It's for me, the entire process lies on me. But when they're a bit older, when they're teenagers, people who are also having an opinion of their own, then also asking for their feedback is very important. And it reminds me what I was going to say before. I was saying, you might have some preconceptions about your child. Maybe some traits you see and they trigger something in you, and you automatically perceive this child as this, So it's for you to also ask, in my notion, I have preconceived you as, maybe if it's lazy, you wake up at 11, I have preconceived you as lazy. It's for you also to give me feedback, and we discuss it with you as my child, as my teenage child. Is this preconception that I have of you being lazy, is it true? And, we analyze it together and see, am I wrong in my preconception? Or are you the one who's not seeing what I'm seeing? And so just being on the same table, really,
And I think even as we speak about communication, I think we've talked a lot about disciplining. But I think beyond like when they have done something wrong, like what do you think is the place of affirming your children? I feel like for most of us also growing up, you knew your parents loved you just because of how they acted, you knew they had your best interests at heart and stuff like that. But like, I don't know if it was the same for you, but I know it was for many people. That it wasn't easy for our parents to say things I love you, or just affirm you in certain ways. I'm very proud of you. I think mostly maybe just academia and stuff like that. But generally just like the little self-affirmation every day. What do you think? Like, is that important for a child, and is it something you do?
I mean, I craved it when I was younger, I craved it. So it's something that I give to my children frequently, and I believe in it, just cupping their faces in my hands, telling them I love them, smooching on them, affirming them, telling them, wow, you're working really hard. I see how hard you're working, keep working hard. So of course it has a place in a child to also know they're validated from home, so that they don't go seeking validation elsewhere. However, the things that we are validating them on have to be things that are not fleeting, what's the word? Like I'll encourage my child in school to say, I know you're doing the best you can. I know you're doing, you're putting in the effort. I won't say, oh wow, you're super smart, or something that can instill something in them that they feel I don't even have to, work hard. I'm going to be like super smart, So also there are some frameworks within which you validate, but I think it's important to ensure that your kids are validated from home.
It is.
Yeah.
On Valentine's, in the office with my colleagues, we were discussing love language. And a colleague of mine was like so tired. is like this thing is just so everywhere, love languages. It just feels like this foreign thing that people are putting so much energy into it.
Yeah.
And I felt like for me and a couple of people, what I realized is that affirmation is not a priority for many people. I'd say for me, I think it's like number 5. So there are 5 love languages.
Yeah.
Because so I was just questioning on my own later, like maybe is it because it's not what we are used to, that you'll just know someone loves you.
I love affirmations.
Because I think for me, like in that circle of friends or colleagues when we were discussing, affirmation and gifting for me is amongst the last, like 4 and 5. And I think maybe gifts, maybe it's not so African. But affirmation, so that's what I was saying. Like I questioned whether it's probably, I didn't grow up with a lot of affirmation. I knew my parents loved me because of how they acted.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you?
For me, I mean, first of all, quality time is my number 1.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation are number 2, because as we're spending quality time, you need to be telling me you're awesome. I love you.
Yeah.
So no, words of affirmation are very important to me, as much as, and I think also when you grow up without one particular love language, it becomes the thing that you chase and crave for. Yeah. So I think also because we aren't being told I love you, you're awesome. Yeah. For me,
now you want to be affirmed.
I want to be affirmed.
Yeah.
And I ensure that I affirm my kids as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherhood as a choice. It's very wide, but like, just for the purposes of our conversation today, I want you to speak to motherhood as a choice in terms of being child-free versus being childless. Like you just deciding that you are able to carry life and give birth, but deciding it's not for you. Versus being childless and like the options that you can explore in that case. And also take it to people who are even deciding just to have kids but not have a partner. Like deciding that being a single mom is what you want and not like out of circumstances. That's something I don't understand well myself, but like I try not to judge, try to get where everyone is coming from.
Yeah.
And also for those people feeling like this might not be the right timing. Like something might have happened, but like I'm not sure like whether motherhood is an experience that I want to go through right now, or I don't have what it takes, maybe mentally, maybe spiritually, like to give birth and nurture a child, all that comes with motherhood.
Yeah. I mean, we are living in a really amazing time right now where everyone is free to choose the path that they want. However, like, our society, especially for women, I think, even when, like when you get older, maybe you're getting towards 40 and you don't have a kid.
Yeah.
Parents are always pressuring you, we want grandkids, we want, even if you're not going to bring a man home, just give us a grandkid.
Exactly.
So the pressure within our society is a lot.
It's a lot.
But at the same time, the era that we live in, you're free to choose your own path. And I think everyone should do what exactly they want with their lives. I mean, it's your life to live.
Yeah.
Why would your mom want you to live in a particular way and you cave into it and you're almost miserable, and you live like you're miserable.
Yeah.
So by all choice, I mean by all means, if you choose to be child free, good for you. Yeah, I mean, it's a good experience. I can't imagine waking up in a quiet house, just drinking my coffee quietly. Like, it's something I fantasize about. Like when I want to escape my chaotic life, I imagine there's someone who is just sipping the coffee because they made that choice. And by all means, for people who those child free and childless. No, I don't know if there's a better term. I don't like that term. But like childless now, the person who's not able to. Yeah. I mean, there are many ways of being a family, because at the end of the day, if you want a family, there are many avenues towards being a family. There are many options. They're out there. So it's for you to also see what is your mindset telling you? Should you pursue these options? Do you wish to just, also remain childless? All these options are for the women to make, for your own personal choice. Whatever the pressures come, whatever society is telling you, at the end of the day, you're the one who will deal with the consequences of your life. And so make sure you're choosing what's best for you, what's best for your mental health, what's best for the kind of future you've projected for yourself.
Yeah,
because
I think even as you're saying, that like there's a lot of choice, which I agree. The world is evolving every day, and now we're at a much better place as women to make a lot of choices for ourselves, for our bodies. But it's still something, because I think people are more open to the idea when someone says, for example, I don't think I'm the marrying type. People might frown, but like they'll accept it. But like you'll still find a lot of people still feeling very sad, or like, you know, they just look at you and pity you. Like when you say you don't want to be a mom, you know. So I still think even though we're being more open-minded, there's still that part that people can't understand someone who's fully able to get a child, deciding that it's not a path they want to walk.
Yeah. I mean, and I suppose it's a bit new, because I think traditionally, you really didn't have a choice. You were married off, you know, to a guy who brought cows to your home, and then automatically kids have to appear, you know. So it's a bit new in our context for choice, for a woman to have the ability but choose not to. So people are still, you know, skeptical of it, just as people usually are of anything new. But I think eventually people will stay out of other people's wombs businesses. Eventually. And something my dad also likes saying, of course not in the context of being child free, but of being childless, like he tries to emphasize that, you know, a marriage or a relationship is complete with or without children. That's true.
So while there's many ways to parenthood, you know, like surrogacy, adoption, and all those things, it's still perfectly fine. And a marriage can be 100% complete, even without children in the picture.
That's true.
Though we acknowledge 100% that children are a blessing, they're a gift. And now when you're talking about like choice, also like about autonomy, reproductive health rights. I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, what do you think about conversations on that end?
About choice and
reproductive health rights, yes, like
the choice and choice to life. And, it's choice
pro-choice or pro-life.
I mean, for me, I'll always be on the women's side. The woman is the one who carries the child. The woman is the one who, you know, has to have the mental capacity, like I mentioned at the beginning. As much as you might have a supportive partner, at the end of the day, the task is very heavily reliant on the woman. So why not let the person who is bearing everything, bearing the entire burden, bearing the entire responsibility. Okay, not the entire responsibility, even if you have like a partner, but most of it, like most of the responsibility, most of the task is on the woman. So why not let that person be the one to make a decision on whether they want to undertake this lifelong responsibility or opt out otherwise. So for me, I'll always be pro-women. And that's pro-choice. I
like that.
Pro-women.
You're pro-women.
Yeah.
And also, when you're saying about a partner, like for you, how has that experience been? Like, I think I'd like to think I know that you have a very supportive partner.
I do.
Like who's a very present dad and a present partner. So I think it's a big part of your experience as a mother.
It is.
So what do you think about what we say about those people who decide they just want a child but no partner?
I mean, again, choice. Everyone is free to choose. But I can't imagine myself, and this is my context. I can't imagine myself doing motherhood without a partner, just because of even, you know, the mental load. I think when I had my first child, the anxiety came from everything. Even you're scared that if you're not alive today, who's gonna be responsible for this child? You start thinking about death more vividly, and it starts haunting you more vividly. So for me, having a partner at least elevates half of that stress. I'm like, at least there's two of us responsible for this child. If I'm not here, there's someone else, is another partner that my child can rely on. So for women who choose not to have a partner, by all means, that's their choice, and they understand their context better. But for me, I think a supportive partner is very important and elevates some of the stress. Because again, you're carrying the load with someone else. 4 hands are better than 2 for sure.
So another thing is the body. I know we'd like to say like we are now more confident, body positive, and all these things. But I still think for a woman more than a man, that's what I believe. You're more conscious about your body for so many reasons. But like women are generally more conscious. And there's a lot of changes that happen when you become a mom.
Yeah.
How has that experience been for you? And what's your relationship with your body physically, that is your physical appearance and everything?
I mean, there's a lot of changes that happen.
Yeah.
When you carry a pregnancy, your tummy changes, your boobs change. A lot of physical changes happen to your body.
Yeah.
And of course, you mourn. You mourn who you were before.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see photos
You look at past photos.
Yeah, you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was like a girl. Now I am a mom. So
Yeah.
you will mourn your body, your previous body. But the thing that I remind myself is that even as I work on changes, as I make changes where I'm not comfortable, as I change my diet, try and exercise, I have to start from a place of love.
Yeah.
I have to love this body that gave me these children.
Yeah.
I cannot start from a place where I hate my body. So, yes, the changes are enormous. They're life-changing, they're mind-changing. You will mourn your previous body. But even as you start accepting a new body or start doing changes, or start to undertake changes that will bring about the changes that you want to see. If you want to be a bit lighter, your knees are straining from all the weight that you're carrying. As you undertake these particular changes, is to start from a place of love and a place of appreciating what your body has done for you. So even if we might not be where we want to be, I appreciate what you've done for me, for my family, and I love you just the way you are, even as we work towards what we want, or even as we work towards accepting where we are. And we can't always be, changing and fixing. You will get those moments where you're like, oh my God, this cloth doesn't fit me anymore, or it's fitting weirdly, and it might take you to a bad place. But it's for you to get yourself out of that place and remind yourself, but no, this body has worked for me, has worked for my family, and I love this body, and for it even to change, I must start from a place of love. And giving myself grace. So it's a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight. I don't think even I'm through with that journey yet. It's still
I see
progress.
You're into a lot of fitness and
I'm trying to eat right and exercise, which is very difficult, but just pursuing it.
I think what you've said about self-love is true, and body image, that besides motherhood, of course motherhood is a big thing, change. But like besides motherhood, even for those of us who are not moms, like there's a lot of stuff we go through, and like we have a very toxic or negative relationship with our bodies, but like it has to start from a place of kindness, just appreciating what your body has taken you through. A lot of very tough experiences. So I agree with you, though it's not easy, it's something that, as you say, you cultivate every day. And when those negative thoughts crop up, just mean like how to manage them, what to remind yourself. And I know, like we say, it's self-image, it's self-esteem, it's your business, it's not someone else's. But like we're definitely affected by the comments of the people around us. Sometimes it's your partner. What would you tell people? Especially people have a lot of opinions. Sometimes I've seen in different places people saying, like the African way of doing things, when someone meets you, they'll comment, it's always about weight, And like for some people it affects a lot, for some not really. But like, what do you think? Why do people have so many opinions? And what would you tell someone? Like someone is a mom, they already have that pressure in their mind. Like now 2 sizes, 3 sizes bigger, whatever. And now you're ready for the comments. I remember when I was in the maternity ward with my first child, somebody came to visit. And the first thing they said, oh my God, umekuwa mkubwa. In the maternity ward. I'm like, look around. Tuko ndani ya maternity. I have just given birth. I was housing a human. Of course, I'm meant to expand. And there's a better place you can say that other than the maternity ward. Not really, that moment.
But anyway, I don't know why people feel entitled to tell this to, women whose bodies have changed. I meet people who came for my wedding and they're like, the last time we met is the time that they came for my wedding. And so we are meeting maybe 4 years later, and they're like, guy, ni wewe. Of course, it's very annoying, you know. I'm like, hey, ni mimi. I'm like, you know, you feel like answering very rudely, like, hey, nimeona nakula.
So you're like, so as in, what are you supposed to say?
What am I supposed to say, you know? But of course, and it will get you to a different place where you're like, what did I become? And because sometimes you don't see the shift between then, or it happens progressively. So it's not like you're waking up to, it happens progressively. Even the pregnancy, you know, it takes a whole 10 months. And then you're at a new space. And then the second pregnancy comes and you keep moving, but progressive. So you don't see that snap. So for them, they're seeing the snap. And I guess that's what triggers their reaction. But I mean, for me, I say, nimenona nakula mali yangu. Let me grow fat, fine. It's my money that I'm eating, you know. But of course, it does trigger. It does a thing, and you feel like answering rudely because also them, what business do they have coming for you like that? But I guess it's just the way it is. But it will trigger something in you. It's for you to manage it and be like, of course, I've had a baby. I've had 2 babies. I'm trying to work on getting away from here. That's if I really... some women are even comfortable with being... You know, they're like, this is a new me. This is a mom body me, and it's fine.
Yet some people are like, Kendi alijiachilia.
You know. So there are all these comments, and it's for you to actually figure within yourself, do I want to change? Where am I even changing? Because I can't be changing for people. I'm more changing for myself, for my own perception. And
maybe as we're coming to the end of the conversation, I'd like to ask, like, the place of your partner in this experience. I know we've spoken to it, but, like, I feel it's full circle, mentally, physically. Because I know it affects you, for example, even though you say it's for yourself. Like, how your partner sees you is important, you know.
It is.
Because, like, you met this person before motherhood and now post-motherhood. Like, what do you say that looks like? And what do you think is the place of a partner in the motherhood experience? Yes, they're a father, but like we've said, it's a very personal experience to the mother, who's in most times the primary caregiver. I mean, they've given birth, like everything. Mostly it's the mom. So what do you say is the place of a spouse?
I think for any sane spouse, and I say sane, you know, they can see everything that you've gone through to try and build a family for the 2 of you, you know. So yes, they can see the physical changes. Probably they married you when you were size 8. Now you're, you know, a size 16, you're double that. They can see it. But also, just as for me, even changing my body has to start from a place of love. Even for them, they have to start from a place of love. Like, I love this person, whether she's a size 90 or size, I don't even know if it's a size 90. Whether she's like a size 100 or a size 1, this is a person that I chose to love all my life, you know. So of course, their loyalty, is it loyalty? Their loyalty, their love should not be changing with the size that you're in, you know, that your body has transitioned into. And most spouses, honestly, decent spouses, I don't think they'll be commenting on you. They already know. Physical probably appearance. Like probably it's a mental load on you. Why would they want to make you feel bad? You, if you see that there's a problem with it, you figure yourself out. But a decent spouse wouldn't, at least in my personal opinion or experience, they wouldn't, you know, be calling you out for it, you know.
Or use that as an excuse to cheat
or be disloyal. If they're a decent human being. But again, indecency keeps creeping up from everywhere. But my opinion is that a decent partner shouldn't really matter. They should love you at a size 2. They should love you at a size 2 or at a size, I don't know, their last size. They should love you at that size as well. Could they encourage you to be healthier?
Because it's very sensitive. Like the body conversation is always very touchy.
It's very touchy.
Like,
I think they
how
have
to tell
very
someone
about it.
someone that you love, you know, like you need to be healthier, you need to exercise.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say it without being offensive? I think for a lot of people, they struggle with that. Like, someone wants the best for you, but they don't want to offend you or hurt your feelings.
Yeah. If I was a man, and most sane men, they will just keep off that topic. Because anyway, the love doesn't change, you know?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to love you at size 2 and at size 20. Is it 20?
Yeah.
Which is the last size? That one. And I'm supposed to love you at that size. Either way, you're the love of my life at whatever size. Could I encourage you to be healthy? And not it's not about now looks here. It's about health, you know? The health perception. If you're really obese, and that could affect your health, then I could encourage you to be healthier, but not shame you or you know, like make it your fault that your body has changed now that you've had babies for us, you know, or hate you for it. I think that would be an indecent man. Yeah.
Okay.
And also like an open conversation. If that conversation really has to happen in your relationship, it has to be an honest, and it has to come from a place of love as well. Yeah. And it has, I think that topic can only be discussed in front of a good therapist. Like I want my wife to tell them they've grown fat because they've had babies. For me, I don't know how you start that conversation.
There's no right way to go about it.
There's no right way. But I mean, if everything starts from a place of love, I think the ending can't be bad. At least you'll understand where everyone is coming from if they're going to justicize you about it. But in my own personal experience, my husband has been supportive. He tells me I'm beautiful. Even sometimes I'm like,
he's lying.
I was or is, you know, like I understand when I says it, you could have said that even now, but genuinely to him, at whatever size that I'm at, he finds me beautiful and he tells me that. And so that has been a very affirming experience for me. And it's allowed me to work, even as I work on my body, I'm working from a place of love. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing I think that we haven't spoken about, we have alluded to it or spoken to it in some way, but like raising kids, it's a crazy world. I don't know if that's a good term to use. There is so much exposure, like never before. I mean, I think it will only get worse. But now, like for us, comparing when we were younger and now, like there's so much exposure, social media and otherwise, there's just a lot of information out there. Whether it's Google, like there's so much out there. So for you as a parent, do you have certain fears?
Of course.
I know one of the greatest fears that parents have is on like sexual education for kids right now, and even how kids are introduced to LGBTQI conversations, you know, getting to understand these things. Like, are you scared about these things? And even besides these things, what are the fears you have as a parent or as a mom?
I mean, the world is crazy. I mean, there are murderers, the people who are stealing kids and murdering them, which is so weird. There are pedophiles. There's a lot of sex predators around. So of course it's a crazy world, and this is what adds on to the motherhood anxiety, where you're like, okay, here's my little child into this horrible world where horrible things happen. What I do is these kids also are here on an assignment from God. God is their custodian. I can't, I'm not omnipresent. So it's for me to cover them in prayer. Anytime they go out, they will not meet bad people. The angels will be, watching over them, guarding over them. There's no bad incident that will happen to them. When it comes to sexual education, of course, even for us, how sexual education met us, it just slapped us in the face, when you're walking or, talking to your tiny friends, and here's a thing that you're talking in secrecy. No one really understands it fully. It's going to... If you don't go ahead of it, it's going to also meet them that way, and it can be very confusing. So it's for you to start having, conversations as early as possible. Like with my 4-year-old, we already, discuss how to call, the private parts, how to conduct yourself, how to ensure nobody touches you, and if anybody touches you, you scream.
And do you call them?
Like
the names. What I hear, this is a flower. Lots of
for us, we use Miss V and Mr. P. So Miss V, you only touch Miss V when you cleaning her, and only mommy or aunties allow to, or daddy to, when you're washing, when you're showering, no one else should touch, your Miss V. If anyone touches, this is how you report, this is how you tell them, you'll tell on them to mommy, you scream, you run away from them, nobody should touch your Miss V, it's private, and your Mr. P. So just starting to have this conversation early enough, guiding them, and as they advance, just adding a bit of more context, a bit of more environmental awareness of what's happening and how to safeguard them. Also just ensuring they're in safe places, and there's always like an adult watching over them, an adult you trust watching over them. So just staying ahead of the conversation, but there's not much you can really, there's no way you can be super prepared, these things will always crop up from anywhere. And also like your values. The values of this family are ABCD, inclusivity, everyone has a choice to their life, their own choices. So also you have to respect them, and people are like this, and just sharing what your message is, and praying that they don't meet the craziness in the world, just covering them from that craziness.
I agree with that. I think that's beautiful and true, because there is so much. And I think even as adults, a lot of us, or many of us, are the way we are because of how we were brought up and like the experiences we had as children. So many people are still dealing with a lot of trauma, like whether it was sexual abuse, physical, a lot of things. Like if you speak to people, you get surprised, like people have had really gruesome experiences, and they've really shaped who they are as adults. So I think as a parent, you have this unique gift and privilege to try as much as you can what is in your control,
safeguarding,
ensuring that your kids are in a safe space and that they are comfortable to communicate to you when something is off, or
it's true. And I think also prayer goes a long way, because like I said, you can't be omnipresent, you can't be everywhere. There are places that you imagine as safe for your kids, like when your child is riding a school bus home, you don't imagine someone can assault them, but such cases have happened. So I think it's just praying that bad people always just move out of the way of your kids, if your kids are in Kenya at that moment, bad people are in elsewhere in the ocean, just walking on in the ocean somewhere, just praying that their paths are just cleared of evil people and evil incidences and accidents.
Maybe as we conclude, like I just ask you, if you were to go back, would you still do it? And would you still do it the same way? Get married at 26, have a baby at 28, and all those things.
You mean marry the most handsome, nicest man and have the most amazing kids? Yes, I'll do it again. I think the thing that I would ensure is that probably I'd have, created generational wealth, maybe between the ages of 20 26, a lot of wealth, for my kids. And then now I settle down, the only work that I do is loving on these people, because honestly, anytime I'm loving on them, we're having family time, we are making things that make us happy or enjoying life, that's the most happiest that I am. So if there's a way, the opportunity cost of having this blissful life would be paid off up front, I don't know how, maybe from generational wealth from my grandparents, which I don't have. So. But if there's a way that I could, have the resources in place for everything, so that then my only job is to love on these kids, love on my husband. That would be how I do it going forward. But the pressures of the economy, you just have to be borrowing time from here and here and here to make ends meet, to create wealth for your family, to take care of them, and also create time to love. To love them and enjoy the things that you enjoy to do. So you'll be pulled apart, and sometimes you might be forced to just step out of it to recalibrate, rebreathe, and then get back in and continue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen.
It was nice having you.
Yeah.
It was nice listening to you. It's always nice having conversation with you. I hope you enjoyed
I love
being
this
on this
conversation.
podcast.
I
And
loved
you'll
it.
come back maybe for like a different conversation, something way different, you
I'd
know.
love that.
Yeah, because I think like you have a lot to say. Like you said, it's your own experience.
It's my own experience.
You might
yes.
not be an expert in a lot of things.
Exactly.
But like you're an expert of your own life.
Yeah.
Like you know the choices you've made, what you could have done differently, what you'd advise people to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having more conversation with you, maybe on different things also that you're passionate about.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to
you.
have you here today.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. So thank you everyone so much for listening in and watching. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, Step by Step Podcast. On Instagram, it's Step by Step Podcast 2023. Facebook, Step by Step Podcast. Spotify, Step by Step with Karen Wahungu. See you.